some of my videos have been generating a increased level of calls for homicide with regards to anyone perceived to be on the left. And what I'm noticing is that other people are seeing the rhetoric too. Kyle Rearden is with me, and he is here to bear witness as someone who has also seen the comments on my videos. Kyle, how are you?
Not too bad, all things considering.
Yeah, I'm not too bad, all things considering. The snow is melting here in Colorado. The roads are clear. The deals at the market today were great. I'm looking forward to getting back home and kicking back. I noticed that I was really sensitive to the hateful comments around the last full moon. And I made mention to you. I don't think I've made heavy mention to the audience yet. I also noticed that my video regarding the flag burners being robbed and assaulted by a group of, they might call themselves patriots, but here they are robbing someone of their personal property for doing something that isn't officially a crime. So, we see people calling for violence against the protesters, murder, Mike Adams, deportation. What are some things that you're seeing, and are you seeing a difference in the way people are acting, like in the real world? I assume that you go out once in a while to the market, so on and so forth, versus the rhetoric that you're seeing on the internet.
Well, considering, where I happen to live in Austin, generally speaking, it does tend to veer a little bit towards progressivism and things more along those lines. Basically, the advocacy for the welfare state, in short. So the attitude is a little bit more along the lines of it's too bad Sanders, sold out to Hillary Clinton, which pretty much is something I kind of share, at least in a sense, because I would admit a Sanders versus Trump matchup would have been a debate maybe worth watching just purely for the entertainment value, not because of anything serious going on, just because of the characters involved, because it's all a stage, as we know, much like Shakespeare said. As far as just the attitudes in general go, I would notice there is a sharp difference between the locals here in Austin, at least the ones I came across, versus a lot of the stuff that is either in Facebook comments or YouTube comments. It's like night and day. And so, at least from my perspective, the so-called alt-right, as they've been called by various people, the alt-right seems to be mainly an internet phenomenon, at least from what I can tell. I haven't really noticed anything like that locally here.
You've also made mention in the past, and it's somewhat of an obvious note, but there's a difference, seems, in the people that, the thinking that is, and education behind those that just watch YouTubes and those that actually read books or read things of a literary nature and or write.
Yes, there is that people usually who read books and study things more generally, even if it does include watching documentaries and things of a more educational nature, usually have a more well-rounded appreciation for what's going on around them. And although they do reach certain conclusions about things that even I disagree with, right? The point is that there's definitely an appreciation for context. And in some circumstances, it's actually useful to have an appreciation for minutia and nuance, although unfortunately there can be a splitting of hairs a little too much. But yeah, I've noticed that. So, for example, the Trump supporters, the alt-right, they are not well-read people, generally speaking, from what I can tell. There very much is much like that earlier episode you and I did on cognitive impairment, is really quite apparent, even on just the one public policy issue regarding Trump wanting to raise tariffs. I kind of explained to these folks, like, look, if government increases tariffs, those costs of those increased tariffs are passed on to the customer, which would mean you and your fellow Americans, and that's kind of like, basic understanding of economics right there, unless you're a Keynesian, which apparently they seem to be okay with, spend money, spend taxpayer money, and then you can spend your way to wealth kind of reasoning. Or lack of reasoning, I should say, and they're just completely, they're just gone. They think, if you increase tariffs, that'll make America great again because Trump said so. That's where their level of consciousness is. They are quite literally economically illiterate.
Right. Well, what I've also noticed is that you and I have done, I don't have an exact count or number, I'll say at least 15 podcasts regarding Donald Trump and the Alex Jones deception, which, mind you, really pisses them off. But there's something about when two or more gather. It's not like this is an AA meeting or a church, but I think there is something, the power of not just being by yourself, but talking with someone, holding conversation about a truth, a certain truth. What I'm saying is that we have no haters, we have no haters with regards to people commenting on the shows that we have done together because they are not able to muster a counter argument. And some will thumb it down, but that's really as far as their consciousness can take it. So I just want to point that out. So there's a couple of comments that we're going to be discussing, and in particular from a couple of different videos. So, like, where would you like to begin? Were you surprised when I sent you the links to those videos, first of all? Did that exceed your concerns, or was that pretty much what you expected? What did you see?
In some sense, I guess because you kind of had told me about it a little bit ahead of time, but then it got further reinforced when I saw the depravity of just how far they were willing to go. So I figured that there was going to be some vitriol, which at least to a certain degree would be understandable, although I disagree with it. But the fact that they were striking such low blows.
Well, now we have documentation of calls for rape with dog. I'm sure you caught that one. That was just this morning.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Again, it just keeps getting curiouser and curiouser.
Okay, so make sure that you refresh your latest emails and then follow the link to it. Basically, you want to have your video page on the flag burning video. The flag burning video, that's one of the most important things we're discussing here. Look at one of the more recent comments. I allowed it through so you could see it and the audience.
Okay.
Okay, and go over that. He's discussing raping someone with a dog. Okay.
Wow.
This exceeds what you said in an email to me yesterday. Well, if people are cheering on the police, it's worse than I thought. No, it's worse than what you said. We're not talking about people cheering on the police. We're talking about rapes with dogs. We're talking about North Korean deportation from Mike Adams. If this was just cheering on the police, I don't think we would be so concerned. This is like brutal XXX rape porn type stuff. That almost seems to be building in the minds of some of these haters, the things that they say they want to do to the left. Well, there's a lot of women on the left. And there's a lot of women in Portland. You know, and I just so happen to have made a projection going back at least 10 years. It's on record, it's on video, saying that I think that something's going to happen on the West Coast that's going to turn some of those cities into the most dangerous cities on the planet in the 2020s, if we're ever attacked by China and Russia. And that evil actions being done today in the name of the U.S. government will result in those foreign troops taking out on the American people and the American women. And so it's to me, it's also upsetting because I do care about women. To see people falsely act like they care about women really bothers me, Kyle. You know, they want to protect the women. They want to protect. Well, you know what? I don't see a whole lot of people mad when a white dude goes out with a hot brown chick. I don't. This seems to be, I'm talking about a number of things at once, and then we'll start getting in the comments whatever you've brought up. This seems to be about controlling women. You know what I mean? You know, like guilt tripping women, like, oh, you're with the black man. You're disrespecting the white race, bitch, whore. And they do that, Kyle. They really do call them bitch and whore. And Paul Joseph Watson, Alex Jones will go as far to say as they want to be gang raped, that they want that. So they're not only insulting Middle Eastern humans being labeled Muslims, they're insulting women around the world that have stepped out of the Aryan nation, alien nation. Now, I mean, I just have some questions that we can't answer now, you know, but I'd like to encourage more audience participation. You know, a little bit of intelligent feedback from the audience instead of just a one-liner, you know, but an actual contribution to the tune of several paragraphs of data. What God are these people worshiping?
Yeah, really, and
right.
the video in question, just to double check with you, that's flag burners and PDX attacked on July 4th. YouTube comments call for violent civil war witch hunt. Uploaded July 7, 2016. Is that correct?
Yes, and for the people that don't know, this was the 4th of July in Portland, Oregon, and I mirrored the video from a guy named Keith Davis with permission, so that's why it's on my channel. I wasn't there. I've never burned a flag in my life. I've done a lot of 9/11 true stuff. I've megaphoned. I've made a lot of noise, but I've never burned a flag in my life. I've seen people accuse me of being a flag burner, troll me when I shut down the comments, because the video goes back to the 4th of July, 2016. That's the age of this video. So over the course of this last year, it has grown and grown and grown the number of comments to where, tell us how many views we have.
The number of views as of today is 301,744 views.
Okay, I don't know if that's my most viewed, but it's up there. I think my other one is like 1 or 2 million, and that's a drone getting shot out of the sky. So it's generated mostly psychotic commenting. And I noticed when I left the comments, turn them back on after they were off for a while. For those that don't know, if you turn off comments, it kills your SEO, which is important for search engine optimization. For those that have never heard of such a thing, there's things like keywords, titles. So when you take out comments, you're taking out a lot of data that the internet would see as valuable. I was also coming to the awareness through that video and other behaviors of mine. When you show fear, when you show pain, the enemy will use it against you. Guaranteed. And any information voluntarily given. This is something that we do not think about as activists and in our communication with others, and we should. It's not paranoia. We have to be conscious of that. And so what I noticed was when I was passive with them, and I even said in the description, I did not burn the flag. I am just mirroring this video. Stop attacking me. It increased the attacks, Kyle. It didn't diminish them.
They sound like vultures.
They saw me as weak. They felt my pain. And then they kept making references, well, we got to get rid of the rag tags too. They need to get out and take and then I was starting to have like a spell of paranoia, like, am I being targeted by like a group? Because it really felt that way for 3 days. There were, Kyle, you're only seeing the comments I allowed. Let that always be said. All comments are now under moderation on my channel because of the depravity that which it's hit. The reason I'm allowing the comments that we're going to be discussing, including the guy that's ranting about myself in the line of Cain, is because people for years kind of denied that the sneaking was going on. And at least we could say for a positive, if there is one, right? It's coming out in the open.
Yeah, okay, I pulled up the comment section and changed it to newest first. Let's start with this one. Newest one by, and let's name the guilty if you don't mind. Username MayKLAGirl0808 1 hour ago said, quote, all these fucking idiots tugging on this fucking fabric like retarded cunts go fucking plant something and tell Mother Earth thank you for allowing fleas, parentheses humans, to last this long on top of her, close quote.
That almost seems to not be in favor, though, of the other ones. That almost seems to be in favor of right to burn the flag.
All right, next one. Let's see. Charles Turner 2 hours ago said, quote, help police, fucking faggot millennial pussy, close quote. Next one. James Anagos, quote, now take him in a room and let a dog fuck him up the ass, ha 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 ha, fucking little communist beta male faggot, close quote.
And they say the same things, beta male. They don't even really break down the male that's compromised. They just repeat the buzzwords. Go ahead.
This one's more typical. Johnny Hernandez, 14 hours ago, said, quote, if the American flag doesn't represent you, then get out of this country, close quote.
Let's do 15 more, 10 more on this video, and then we'll go to the other video with the riot police taking out arresting the protesters.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, this was let's see. Chris Harper 1 day ago said, quote, libtards need to be eliminated, close quote.
That would be a call for domestic terrorism. Continue.
Oh, let's see. Chevy Olds said a day ago, quote, the cuck with the mohawk needs his face smashed in, close quote.
And these are people that are anonymous. We don't know who they are.
Let's see. Yeah, wow. This is getting quite bad. Okay, let me just pick this one. Karen Green 2 days ago said, quote, clearly anyone who approves of disrespecting the flag and considers it freedom/right to protest has no base knowledge of the history of the United States, nor has any family member nor anyone close that has died for the freedoms the flag represents.
They're literally saying that people are literally dying for the flag in a literal sense, not metaphoric, but they literally died for that flag that apparently to them it doesn't matter if it's been made in China or not. They don't like that question. They do not like that brought up.
Prime example of unsophisticated and disrespectful use of this privilege, close quote. You know, a buddy of mine actually wrote a trilogy of articles about the flag going into how, like, like even the people who really do the flag waving don't even obey the Title IV flag code in United States Code federal law, and like they're actually accidentally committing civil disobedience. I mean, anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked on the flag issue so much because you want to keep focus on more of the vitriolic. Okay, here's another one. Bob Sellers 4 days ago said, quote, "They stop actual free speech with violence. They cannot understand people who do not want to see the nation's flag dishonored. Libtard logic. Fuck 'em." Close quote.
And just name number, how many comments are listed there? And again, I only allowed half of the ones that wanted to come in. I only allowed half of the demons. The other half were too nasty. Go ahead.
Let's see. Bomax1 STK 5 days ago said, quote, "Liberalism is a fucking disease. Don't talk to them or you'll catch it. Seriously." Close quote.
How many comments does it say at the moment that are posted?
Let's see. Comments posted are 916.
Okay, a little less than I thought. And like I said, it comes with waves. And Kyle, during that full moon, it seemed like a lot of comments were culminating. It's like the video was an entity of anger unto itself.
It's possible. Mitchell Aquilino 5 days ago said, "I'm itching for civil war, and we are ready for it. Wipe out these leftists." Close quote. I think he meant to say leftists. You know.
Hey, here's a nice one, though, from Mercury Rising. Really appreciate this video, Alex. Love your beautiful painting. Being a Taurus, I don't think I have nearly something. Take care. Happy birthday coming up soon. I just thought I would just break it up. Go ahead.
I'm looking for another one, too. I mean, there are some that are just, if it's people just disagreeing or whatever, that's one thing. But, yeah, you want to focus more on...
Go ahead. Yeah, tell us the
nastiest... here's another one. Here's another one. I just found it. Elvin George 6 days ago said, quote, "Kill those bastards. How dare they insult the flag?" Close quote.
Okay, so it looks like I didn't allow the ones because I was upset regarding ragtags. Ragheads, that's the term they use to describe Middle Eastern people. Bring those up if you see them as they go down. But, yeah, again, as the audience is able to decipher for themselves, it's really a lot of the same old one-liner, really angry one-liners. And not really a whole lot. There's very few that are like longer than a sentence or two, basically. There really is no argument. Wild threats, emotional reactionaryism, and all connected to this sigil, this symbol, the U.S. flag.
Let's see. Ron Kaysen 6 days ago said, quote, "Time to start kicking ass." And then right after that, the Ariana V said, quote, "Kick their asses. You don't fuck with our flag." Close quote.
It's like a meth head with an internet connection. Who's like, he's got a paintball gun. He's at the end of a side street. He's depressed about the economic situations that he's in. He's in some part of America that he can't get out because of economic circumstances. But instead of improving his problems, they go out and they troll others.
Oh, these 3 comments are interesting. Let's do the first one. Pay the Cost with a K said, quote, "Kill these commie motherfuckers and stuff their commie flags into their dead mouths." Close quote.
I'm wondering, are there a bunch of dead bodies out there that we don't know of? Or I mean, is there just extreme keyboard coward behavior going on?
I guess it's an open question. Gallo Sky said, quote, "They should be sent to prison for a week. See how much they like freedom." Close quote.
I wonder how they would feel about the left trying to put them in a prison for calling for violence or to be put into a camp. I don't think they would like that very much, but I'm pretty sure the flag burners aren't calling for the PTSD veterans to be killed for serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm pretty sure they're not calling for them to be killed. I'm pretty sure some of these veterans actually have killed innocent people and have family members that have killed and raped when no one was looking, up the ass, and sometimes with dogs. You see, how did I learn about this shit? Well, there's a guy out there named Alex Jones who led me to this type of information when he was legit. You can thank him. Alex Jones, Kyle, I don't think these people know what Alex Jones was talking about 10 years ago.
No, they have no idea.
I mean, I think they might be actually pretty mad at him. Like, dude, why are you fucking revealing that we fucking raped children in front of their parents and drip battery acid on them, asshole?
Yeah. Moose Man said, quote, fuck these leftist cunts. They need to be identified and put to work on a farm for a while. Stupid, lazy assholes, close quote.
So we see Mike Adams calling for deportation to North Korea. That's big time. Big time. I'm working my way to the FEMA camp. But that's right along the line. Put them to work. Put them in a camp.
Oh, Macy Smith said, quote, lib-i-tard SJW snowflake scum need their heads kicked in. Flag burners should be fined at the very least and citizenship checked, close quote.
It's like hearing the neo-Nazis rant out of a scene from Romper Stomper.
David S. said, quote, liberals are anti-American. They are supporters of Muslim terrorists, and they are baby killers. People like this is why Americans elected Trump, close quote.
See, I'm not making it up. I have a second witness bearing witness. They're comparing the left to terrorists. And then you have baby killers. And, man, you know what? I'm not necessarily for abortion. I've always stayed out of that. But, I mean, we are really being balkanized over every single issue you can imagine. And if people disagree, there are people out there calling for their murder. And the question is, where's this going to go? Okay, what else is there?
Robert Baum, B-A-U-M, said, quote, America fights back. Beat those anarchists to a pulp, close quote. Okay, that's low.
Right. Well, I mean, to describe the video for the audience, the thing goes on for several hours, but my video is edited down several minutes, several scenes. But the thing went on for several hours because I saw in Robert West's video, a cop watcher in Portland, we're going from light to darkness. So maybe it was an hour, but the police were pretty much allowing it to take place. They were watching it. And so they kept taking the flag away from the flag burners. And they would eventually get the flag back. I was actually amazed, Kyle, that they were actually were able to hold their own or did hold their own. They did look weak. They did look frail. And so what we can say about it is they were greatly outweighed by several hundred pounds. The flag burners were outweighed by several hundred pounds, I would say. And then these more butch, well-fed, including one guy who looked like a giant but not so gentle. Andre the Giant was a lot more gentle than this dude. He looked somewhat gentle, but they were just there to we're bigger than you. We can swallow you. So there was a real high school bully energy going on in this particular video. Let's read a few more comments, and then we'll segue to the other one. In some ways, I consider the other video to be almost more vile, with comment-wise.
Okay, let's see. Mycroft S. said, quote, love it or leave it. Anyone steps or burns my flag, I will wipe your ass, close quote. You know, actually, Alex, people have been saying that to me lately. Love it or leave it quite a bit. I think I told you about it before.
That's pretty extremely fascist. And another comment that I didn't allow through, because I just didn't like the imagery, he's like, okay, first of all, I want to buy that cowboy guy a beer. That's not really offensive. That's like the least, I'll allow that shit. But the other comment was, I want to buy him a pair of brass knuckles, which can kill someone. So if that well-fed country boy hits that 95, and there was apparently a female and a male. They look very androgynous, which is a very Portland look. And Portland draws youth that have the androgynous type of thing that they like. Or, I don't know, man. I'm not going to get into weird theories and say Portland makes them that. And I think it's really, as you decide which comments because it's just really more of the same old. But it seems that in the next video, we're going to see them calls for domestic terror attacks in Portland, or for the city to be carpet bombed. And that's taking the generalization from, now we're going to generalize the left, but also kill the right that lives alongside them. Also kill the police that live alongside them. That is an extreme form of domestic terror call. I mean, hopefully I'm not going to be in any trouble for leaving these comments. But I mean, I think that by doing this video, we're really putting it in context in a way that I don't know if there are any other YouTubers that are now addressing the rise in calls for domestic terror.
No, nobody is. Howard45 said, quote, don't burn my flag in front of me. You may not make it home that day alive, close quote. Wow. That's interesting, because last time I checked, the American flag, so-called, or Old Glory, is actually the flag of the federal government. So it doesn't really make much, just on the flag issue, just in passing, it doesn't make much sense to claim that you care about American freedom or American liberty while you're waving the flag of the very same government you guys claim to oppose, or at least you used to oppose, because I mean, I think I mentioned this before, but like people I've known who used to be in favor of limited government now support his wannabe Majesty the Rug.
The other thing is, these commenters don't respect the YouTube content creator that brings them the video that they feed on. They're not like, hey, dude, thank you. They'll never say that. They just fucking go immediately. And I was commenting for a while, and then I just stopped talking to them. I was like, do you realize that the people that burn the flag didn't upload this video? Do you realize that the people that burn the flag aren't going to see this video? A person that doesn't agree with burn the flag is seeing you talk to yourself and throwing out homicidal rantings into the air. And I just like want to throw that back at them. Maybe read a sampling of the positive comments. You're going to see like one guy take on 100 dudes. There's this. I mean, I have my computer here now. I can look, but there's one guy who's countering all of them, and he'll do witty comebacks. And he's obviously someone that has a spirit, that has a consciousness. And
well, while you're looking for that, another one was Anthony Sittler, Sitler, said, quote, "Kill these flag-burning traitors," close quote. While you're looking for that, Alex, just the guy who said kill the traitors or whatever, that kind of reminds me of something. There was a court case, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was basically involving an American self-identified communist who burned the American flag. This was like an old Supreme Court case back in the 60s. And basically, the Supreme Court basically said that burning the flag does count as free speech, right? As long as like the fire doesn't get out of control and like burn other stuff and destroy other property. The point is that as long as it's your flag, you bought it, it's yours, you're not stealing somebody else's flag, right? Then you can burn your own property. Basically, is kind of what they came down to. So all of these people with their fascism, saying you can't burn my flag, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, whose flag is it? I thought it was the flag of the federal government, but because that's what the law says. The federal law is in Title IV, United States Code.
Here's one.
Yeah, they're stupid.
If they hate America so much, why do they choose to live there? Some people would actually live somewhere else if another country would allow American citizens in without money. A lot of these kids have no money.
Right.
And a lot of we talked about what happened to Portland. There's really not good jobs in Portland. The standard of living is really high because of the there are pictures of people that are like, it's not funny, but they have all their stuff out in the street or they're in between moving, because they got no cause evictions because the place is so popular, people are literally being kicked out in the street.
As a side note, just to kind of accentuate that too, in terms of people like wanting to like leave the country legally or whatever, like expatriation just as one option, there is such a thing as an expatriation tax that I don't know if it's necessarily all people trying to expatriate, but many of them do. And the expatriation tax numbers rates are actually going up last time I checked. Hell, I might even write an article about that at some point, Alex, when I get a chance. It's just, so even if you want to get out of here, let's say love it or leave it, let's say you chose leave it for whatever reason, you still have to pay a tax to get out of here legally. So these dumb, whatever, really don't understand the laws of the very government they claim to support when they're doing their little flag waving routine. It's disgusting.
Right, and let's just say there's a U.S. citizen that made a mistake when they were young, right, and they got involved in the criminal justice system. We've all made mistakes. Even isn't a DUI a felony? Yes or no?
If I remember correctly, yes.
Okay, you can't own a firearm then if you have a felony in the U.S., except for some areas if it's nonviolent after a period of time.
Not true because of what happened to Kevin Casey Massey, because he obeyed the Texas law, but he's in federal prison right now.
The main area I was going to go with was right to travel outside the U.S.
Right.
Do you know that that's not the case? From what I understand, if you have a criminal history, you're not leaving.
If I remember correctly, I think that's fair to say because Interpol would get involved at some point. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I understand to be the case, and this was kind of even before 9/11. That means because I made a mistake early on, I can't go visit a place that, say, my father was born in, while U.S. full Anglos get to bomb it back to the Stone Age, and they're not even citizens. But they get to visit as Marines, and they get to kill and destroy and rape and torture, and their own wives won't even call them out. And yet I can't go visit Afghanistan. Maybe, I guess, if I was able to get, diplomatic help. Yeah, there's a pipe dream also created every day.